A man charged with killing these two victims went before a judge today. John Palmer and Steve Gibbons were attacked and found dead last year. Police believe Frederick Scott is responsible not only for their murders, but another woman's murder in Grandview, possibly others. KCTV5's Stephanie Kaiser was in court for Scott's arraignment.
Frederick Scott pled not guilty to all counts in court today. He is the alleged serial killer charged with killing 3 people and the suspect in 3 more murder cases. Now, the families of the victims were in court today as Scott was formally charged with 3 counts of murder and 3 more counts of armed criminal action. He was most recently charged with the murder of 64-year-old Karen Harmeyer of Grandview. She was found shot to death this past July. The other victims are older white males. Police say all were shot, most from behind, in surprise attacks. These attacks started last year. Scott was charged with killing John Palmer and Steve Gibbons. Investigators believe he may be responsible for the deaths of David Lennox, Timothy Rice, and Mike Darby on or near the Indian Creek Trail, but he has not been charged in those crimes. Now, we spoke with Brian Darby, the son of Mike Darby, who was killed along Indian Creek Trail earlier this year.
It's still a balance between horrible pain and anger. I think today was more anger. It's just seeing him walking, I don't know why he's not in handcuffs. It's a lot of anger.
With the holidays coming up, Darby says they will lean on each other and are thankful they have a good support system. Scott's next court date is November 2nd at 10:30. In downtown Kansas City, Stephanie Kaiser, KCTV 5.
First at 6, you may not think twice about hitting a trail on a day like today, but 8 years ago, plenty of people were scared to walk along Kansas City's Indian Creek Trail following a string of murders.
Among those killed, John Palmer, a local cook, local philanthropist, and sports bar owner Mike Darby, David Lennox, a Vietnam veteran, Steve Gibbons, a husband and father of 2, a homeless man, Timothy Rice, and Karen Harmeyer, a homeless woman.
Police arrested the man they thought was responsible, but here we are all these years later, and that man still hasn't gone to trial.
It's a story I've been covering for some time now, Kevin, and I wanted to know, how could a case like this be delayed so long? What I learned is some of this is tied to delays in the state's mental health system, but that answer does little to ease the minds of victims' family members enduring the agonizing wait for justice.
Here's a bike rider. So you got 2 bikes out there. They got his 2 dogs right there.
Coach's on College, how may I help you?
If you visit Coach's Bar and Grill, you'll see signs of the original co-founder, Mike Darby, adorning the walls. From a painting of the original location to a picture of him as a young Mizzou fan making good on a lost bet. His brothers Bob and Bill have countless stories of Mike's great sense of humor, as well as his giving heart. He founded Tour de Hope, a bike ride that raised money for various causes, including the Hope Center in Kansas City.
What comes to mind when I think about Mike and everything that he did is that phrase that you say, I want to leave this world a better place than when I entered it. And I think he did that.
Mike's brothers remember him as a glass half full kind of guy, but their family has struggled to maintain Mike's optimism when it comes to his murder, considering the trial for his alleged killer has been delayed time and time again over the past 7 years. Frederick Scott is accused of fatally shooting Mike Darby and 5 other people, most of them on or near the Indian Creek Trail in Kansas City, Missouri. Security video and DNA evidence at the scene of the final killing led police to the then 22-year-old, who they say admitted to routinely using the trail.
While we have made an arrest, the investigation is ongoing, and we still need tips.
For the families of the victims, the murder charges against Scott marked the start to finding justice, but their relief would be short-lived as his trial would eventually be delayed multiple times over the next 7 years.
So it's just a snowball effect, and there's got to be a different process or somehow to change this whole dang thing. It doesn't make sense.
Part of the delay is Scott has fluctuated in and out of mental competency while in the Jackson County Jail.
So I will just say I can't speak to the specifics of any pending case and won't do that, but I will say that particular case has been extremely, extremely high frustration on our end. because we've been ready.
In addition to changes in judges and defense attorneys, Scott's case most recently was delayed when the judge ordered another mental health evaluation and referred Scott to the Missouri Department of Mental Health, referencing concerns about him taking his medication while at the Jackson County Detention Center.
Can you force inmates to take medication?
No, not here in our facility. We have to allow them the opportunity to decline to take their medication. Well, a lot of our population does have mental health issues, and we do try and provide care for those individuals, but often the people who are dealing with competency issues have significant issues that go beyond our general care.
In most cases, those individuals are then referred to the Missouri DMH. For those who can possibly be restored to competency so they can stand trial, there are 3 state-run facilities that fill that need, including Fulton State Hospital.
So the average length of time to restore is we're right about anywhere between 4 and 6 months. So we can get folks turned around once we get them in.
But that's the issue in Scott's case and many others. Missouri's DMH says they don't have any available beds. As of January 9th, the DMH said there were 418 individuals in Missouri jails awaiting admission to Division of Behavioral Health hospitals under court orders for competency restoration with an average wait time of 14 months. And that's after DMH has a chance to do a mental health evaluation, something else that's facing a major backlog.
So we presently have 278 people that we are in the process of doing an evaluation on. So it can take anywhere from that 60-day mark up to about 90 to 120 days.
At his last court hearing, nearly 6 months after he was most recently referred to the Department of Mental Health, Scott was still number 65 on the wait list. Meanwhile, Darby's brothers say they can't help but think more could have been done to speed up this process, including having the prosecutor's office push for the death penalty with the hopes that would encourage Scott to accept a plea deal, allowing them to avoid a trial.
Her comment was, "We don't do business that way," alluding to the fact it wasn't ethical or honest.
We asked former prosecutor Jean Peters Baker about that before she left office. She said not only is she ethically bound from seeking the death penalty to pressure someone to take a guilty plea, the court also would not allow an individual to plead guilty if he or she is in an incompetent state. However, she said she does empathize with families in these situations.
So for me, it's really, really painful to watch what they have to go through so that the rule of law is followed, adhered to, and that we get it right the first time.
Everybody there that played knew Mike, and they had their own stories.
Currently, Mike Darby's brothers wonder if the case will ever go to trial. But they say they do find some consolation in Mike's legacy living on through the Tour de Hope bike ride that continues to this day and a scholarship they formed in his name covering tuition for students to attend Mike's alma mater, Rockhurst High School.
That's a $225,000 check that we've accumulated over donations to the Mike Darby golf tournament that was held for 7 years.
Meanwhile, his family attends every hearing, all in the hopes of keeping his memory and this case alive.
Well, we have to, because Mike can't. He's no longer here. Excuse me.
As you can tell, this wait has taken a toll on the Darby family as well as the other families still waiting for justice.